Hey, libraries need our help. I need your help. I've got a plan to save the library. But before we can save it, maybe we have to understand it. Come with me. Let's go visit a library. As I ride to the library, I actually get really excited. Hopefully I don't get hit by a truck, but I am remembering all the things that I love about the library. You know, the different ways that in my short existence on this planet, I've had fun there. You know, it's the library is so much more than just a place that books get placed. To me, it's where history lives, where interesting people go from all walks of life. For me, it's like, in a way, something that I've forgotten thanks to the internet. I don't really think about the library anymore. And therein probably lies the problem. You could argue it's not relevant anymore, but it so is. So I'm at the first of a few libraries that I wanted to visit near my home. This is the Primrose Hill Community Library. Even the way they describe libraries is a reinvention or a reminder as well of just what they were or should be, or I think could be for us in the future. And I had this sense, as I was just mentioning, of emotion when I go to a library. The emotion of not wanting to lose a bit of history, but frankly, not wanting to lose the only bit of community I feel like we have left. Pre-COVID, before we were hit by this whole nightmare that is coronavirus, I feel like, of course, the libraries were in decline, but we were all moving to this social world where things were quite surface-driven in the connection we have with each other. And with COVID, it's made it worse. We're literally not allowed to be too close to each other or connect. And so the library is, to me, the only place where you can go where they don't expect money from you if you turn up, and now it's under threat. But I wonder if there's a better way to run a library. I wonder if there's a better way to make it work and keep its core value of being there for the community, no matter what part of society you're from, and try to service the needs of the whole slew of people out there that need community. Let me take you to one more library and then give you an idea I have and see what you think. I really need your help with it. Just before we get to the library, I had to stop and have a coffee. I was just reflecting as I was biking over to the next library in Belsize Park. I don't want to say this in front of the library. I feel like it's already had enough negative energy thrown at the library. But I kind of feel frustrated that the government cut funding to the library in England prior to COVID. You know, I think in America, every time a president retires, they build a library in their honour. You know, there's such a deep tradition about the respect for libraries and knowledge. I do think libraries in the UK in particular have been totally neglected, and the government cut funding to them, so their business model no longer became viable because they were there just to help people. But if there's a war, you know, if there's a deadly disease, then suddenly money is found, billions, trillions of pounds, dollars is thrown at things. And I think it kind of worries me that the way we look at society now, that community becomes such a small thing that we don't need to invest in, when I think it is all we have. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, I guess, kind of negative thing before we go and see the library, and try to cheer it up with a plan. I really need to know what you think of this plan, and whether you can help me, whether you can get involved in what we're trying to do, and if you think it's a good idea. So I'll see you in a minute.
ISO Wendy's, where y'all from? ISO, Wendy's.
free, live free, speak your piece. Stay humble in these streets, yeah. In these streets.
So here we are, folks, at the Belsize Community Library, and it's an absolutely beautiful building. Later, if you want, I'll take you around. Now, I believe that the libraries themselves, as I mentioned earlier, are pivotal to keeping the community connected. This particular library, I just want to shout out and say, is run by a charity called The Wanch, and I respect them tremendously. They've worked really hard to try and keep this hub alive, being very creative in their approach to try and make that happen. But of course, combination of the economic woes alongside what we have as a new normal has not made it easy. I think we can reinvent it. Now, my idea is a little bit perhaps crazy when you first hear it, but I think like any business, a business model like the library needs to be kept up to date. And I think one of the problems with the library is it's still trying to focus in on books, as if that's actually the core value of a library. That's not the core value of a library, in my opinion. The core value of a library is the community. I want to reinvent the library. I want to create an entrepreneurial hub, not a library. Now, entrepreneur hub does not mean if you're not an entrepreneur you can't be a part of the community. Of course, entrepreneurs are social animals. They're innovators, they're thinkers. But we have families that love family time. We love our children to play with other children. We want all that community connection. So none of that would change. To me, it would just give this place one simple focus. Kids after school could come here and learn to be entrepreneurs. I don't think schools teach that, but I think we could teach that here. I think that the community around us are full of innovative, insightful people. Entrepreneurs themselves that perhaps can come here, zoom in, zoom out, whatever's necessary to connect to the community and help anyone that wants to start a business do just that. In addition, there's a lot of people around here with knowledge to help you start a business, a service provider, a knowledge-based CEO, people that have insight into business, potentially a client for your new company. They're all living in this community and they could all help you. We just need to pull it all together in one central place. What's ironic about this idea is for the last year I've been working on something called the Purposeful Project, which involves the Good Luck Club podcast on my own channel, simonsquibb.com. We've been trying to build out, and I think successfully, content that's useful to entrepreneurs. I'm going to call it the software to this hardware. I've been looking for an office, and instead of getting a fancy office that costs a lot of money, I'm going to give the money that I was going to pay on an office to the charity that runs this library. And then we're going to team up with them to see if we can reinvent the library, repurpose it for what people need today. Keep the core value of it's free, it's there for you. No matter who you are or where you're from, you can connect here, literally, as well as spiritually. Let me know what you think of this idea. We'll be starting it in October 2020, so I don't know when you're watching this video, but if you want to check in, subscribe to my YouTube channel, connect to me on any of my social media channels, and check in with us to see how we get on. But I hope when we move in next week, that we can start to make a difference to what I think is an essential service. I'm going to call it a core service to our needs as human beings. If you find this blog useful or insightful or in any way want to get behind our cause, I'd really appreciate it if you shared this video, if you liked it, if you had any ideas on how to make the library better for you, how we can improve this idea to tailor it to your needs, then drop us a comment below. If you feel you can contribute, then not only give us a comment below, but feel free to direct message us and let us know what you can do to get involved to help the next generation have a purpose. Thank you, and have a lovely day.